Hey, good morning, everyone. So today I'm going to talk about your Etsy shop being slow. If you are one of those people, and even if you're not, I suggest you listen to this Facebook Live because there may be a time where your Etsy shop may be slow. In fact, there may be a time where your Amazon shop will be slow. It doesn't really matter where you sell. I want to tell you the freaking awesome reason why that's a blessing in disguise, why that's super, super awesome. And I just want to make something very, very clear. This is not clickbait, okay? Because the title lends itself to being clickbait. But I am seriously going to provide you some awesome knowledge and some stories about it, just so you understand and can relate to it, as to why it's freaking awesome that your Etsy shop is slow. And I want you guys to hear me out, okay? I'm going to tell you a couple stories that show you the insight to it and kind of then drop the knowledge on you. I spoke about this topic, well, just in general, to one of my friends who has an Etsy shop. And then immediately after I was done talking to her, we voice text on WhatsApp. So we're like back and forth. Immediately after I was done talking to her, I right away went to my Trello, right? My Trello is that app, the task organization app. And I went into my Facebook Live section. I have a Facebook Live section where I put in topics that I think of, and I put in topics I think of for a Facebook Live. Simple as that. And this was one of them. I said, one day I'm going to get to this, and today finally I'm getting to this. Good morning. My hubby and I are moving tomorrow, so this slow time actually works for me. That's an interesting perspective on it, Melissa. Obviously, yes, when Etsy shops are slow, people could do a lot of personal things that need to be get done. I think a lot of us, why we do agree, a lot of us are still like, I'd rather busy sales, and I'll just hire a company to help me move, or I will do my personal stuff later. It's not that big of a deal. I just want the sales, right? I get it. I think most of us will sit here and probably tell me they'd rather have it busy than not, even if you have things to accomplish, right? We know our to-do lists never go away. Good morning. We know that sometimes we always bitch and complain that we don't have time to finish our to-do list, right? But you guys are still the same people who will still tell me you still want your shop to be nonstop busy. I'm the same person. It's a good problem to have, right? You want... Some days are slower than others for me. We know that obviously on a Monday, since we did not print the weekend, we're busy. But, so some days will vary. Some months will vary. And I could tell you for a fact that my husband, even though he prints almost all day, sometimes he has pockets of time. Usually he uses those pockets of time to buy supplies and, things of that nature. Good morning. But he almost wishes he doesn't have to. He wishes that he could print all nonstop, which means sales would be much more than it is now, which we're heading toward that way, and he wishes that he could hire another assistant to help us, etc. And while that is great, if you're one of those people who have nonstop sales and can't figure out time in between, that's fantastic. But I want you to still listen to his Facebook Live, because there may be a time you run into a slow time and you literally are going to pull your hair out, right? So can people on this call, 40 people on this call so far, some of you guys must have Etsy shops that are slow, even Amazon shops that are slow, right? Slow meaning compared to some good times you used to have. So can you tell me how you feel when things are slow? Literally tell me however you want to tell me how you feel. Good morning. I will tell you, I'm pretty good at this, that when I have slower sales, I brush it off, not in a bad way, but in a way that I know I'm moving forward, okay? So I'm kind of over the ups and downs, if there are any. I know how to move forward and work on the next thing, or work on the current thing I'm working on without it bothering me. It bothers my husband, I notice that, but it doesn't bother me. I can't let it bother me because it'll put me down. But anyway, that's me. So let me know what you guys feel when the slow times happen, and be honest. If you feel like punching a freaking wall, if you feel like punching me, if you feel like, what is it? What do you feel? And again, I'm going to share with you in just a minute. I'm waiting for everybody to come in this call. I'm sharing with you just a minute why having a slow Etsy shop is freaking awesome. And it's not exactly what you think it's going to be. Okay? I know you guys are thinking already, but I want you to hold that thought because it's not exactly that. David says, I moved my website, listed all my products on eBay, listed all my products on Facebook, working on Pinterest. I'm glad it slowed a little to crush some goals. Cool. And that's probably one of the ways you guys think I'm going to lay some knowledge on you. Similar to what David said. You know, he had time to work on his to-do list. That may be part of the case. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to lie. It's part of why it's probably pretty awesome. But I'm going to really give you a different perspective. And if I will tell you this, and I mean it with all my heart, if you walk away from this Facebook Live after listening to my message and are not buying in to my message, meaning you don't believe it, you don't care, you're not going to take it to heart, then I have a problem for you. You're probably going to have some issues as you're trying to grow your business. Actually, no. You are going to have some issues when you're trying to grow your business. So remember what I just said. If you listen to this Facebook Live, start to finish, and you're like, yeah, no, I still want it to be busy, or I don't care, I'm still going to sulk when it's busy, when it's not busy, then you're going to have some problems. I guarantee it, and you're going to see why in just a second. Hey Linda, I noticed that the views and favorites are really high. I'm just starting to pick up for my slow time. My worst month in a long time. It makes me worried, Kristen says. Yet I like it so I could take a breath. Yes. Slow times motivate me to make things better and add new products. After a small tantrum about it, of course. Yes. Thank you for being honest, Stacey. I get it, right? You start to work, move forward, but you have to have a small tantrum about it. Be honest, exactly. I feel nervous, but I'm working on my SEO going through your webinar. Perfect. It feels disheartening. Yes, it does. Especially when you know it's your sole income. I've had the sales last month, but this is my first slow month since buying the SEO webinar October. Yikes. Depending on what you sell, it obviously will fluctuate depending on a few different factors, you know. But, well, first of all, let's just say this. Thank God it's your first, slow month since the webinar. I don't think your issue is SEO in this case. It's probably some other things. It may not be an issue. Maybe your ebbs and flows of selling online. Sarah, I wish it would slow so I could get some of my next product lines finished. You say that, Sarah, and you may be completely honest, but sometimes when it does slow down, then our foot's in our mouth because we're like, oh crap, I really wish it wasn't slow. I would love things to slow down so I could work on SEO listings. Yes, I understand. So a lot of people here really wish it was slow, but I can imagine that when the slow times happen, you have this gut feeling, right? Whatever the feeling is. Okay, so a lot of people, good point, Teresa, makes you doubt your shop. It makes a whole bunch of feelings go around, right? Yes, Nicola says she's not complaining, but she just still doesn't have time to implement the email webinar. I will tell you this for Nicola, if you're one of those people that don't have time to implement the email webinar, I urge you on your time off from work to at least do the first section of it, so at least you can build your subscribers slowly, because 3 months from now, when you do have the time, you're going to wish you started sooner. Just that piece, okay? All right, let me start beginning and start talking about what the blessing in disguise is. Why it's freaking awesome that your Etsy shop has slowed down. Let me take a sip of my drink. Hold on. Hey Sarah, finding my first year very interesting. This is my main income, but it will definitely take the opportunity to plan in some holiday at this time next year, so I won't have to worry about losing out on more money. Okay, so let me tell you a quick story, really, really quick, and then I think by the story you'll be able to tell why it's freaking awesome that your Etsy shop is slow. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Because this is not the way to normally look at it. And I'm not saying that I have more experience than a lot of you here. I obviously have several years under my belt, successful business. I've seen a lot of things. I've talked to a lot of shop owners. So that's another thing that I do. So I know this based on experience. So if you don't feel this way and don't buy into it, keep it in the front of your mind. Because I'm like you from the future, and I'm telling you certain things you need to do. Okay? So I was talking to my friend who has an Etsy shop, and she started her Amazon shop not too long ago, and she started her .com not too long ago, and what else does she have? That's really it, right? And she was complaining about low Etsy sales. And she knows me. She knows that I don't like complainers, but she had some knowledge to back it up, and some feedback. And, it wasn't just a blank statement like, oh, sales are slow, I don't know what I'm doing. It was a really good conversation about where we think buyers are shopping now if they're leaving Etsy, and, just really detailed. Anyway, so we spoke about it for a while, and she said that that she's trying to use a slow time to work on Amazon, work on .com, some basic things. However, I found that, and I hope she's not listening to this, even though it's fine if she did, I found that a lot of times, and I called her out on it, I said a lot of time when her shop is slower, I find her doing half days. So she would message me telling me, oh, she's taking the day off, or she's only worked for a couple hours, take a half day. She has to get some yard work done, which is understandable. It's beautiful weather outside. She's taking half day. I'm telling you, this is a true story. So I'm like, okay, cool. One thing I called her out on it. I'm like, I get it. When you have slower times, it is nice to do some things for yourself. In fact, with me, most times I work from 8 to around 4:35. Sometimes you'll find me in the office past 5. But there are some days they're sneaking in there once in a blue. I'm telling you, once in a blue meaning I used to have them much more often back in the day. Now I have them less often. But once in a blue, I don't feel like working. It's like 12 noon and I'm done. Like I am done for the day. Like I don't want to. And I will take that time off because I feel unproductive. I can't get anything done. And I tell her, well, sometimes it's really good to work extra hours on some certain days if you're really feeling it, because there's other days you're not going to want to. But for her, it was different. I found that she was taking more time off than somebody normally would. So she just messaged me. I wonder if she's listening to this call. Anyway, so point of the story. I said to her, and this is my spin on it, guys. Listen up. I said to her, this is a blessing in disguise. And she said, how so? Like, how so? And I said to her, because, let me tell you the other part of the story. She told me not too long ago that she's had a couple of Amazon sales in a market that she's selling things on Amazon that is not too common to sell. So she was worried about what the target customer would think over there, etc. She's also started her .com not too long ago. I gave her some knowledge about her .com. She's implemented some things. She's working on some other strategies I'm helping with, email lists, a few other things. Obviously, she's my friend, so I'm helping with her a lot of things. And I told her, after she told me that, I said, this is a blessing in disguise. I said, why? She said, why? I said, because if your Etsy shop wasn't slow, okay, you would not be forced, and I mean that literally, forced. You feel like you're forced to do other things because you're worried about Etsy. You feel like you're forced to work on other things. Let me explain something to you. The fact that Etsy is slow, okay, sometimes should put a fire up your butt to get other things done. Not other things in general, but to get other big goals accomplished, in the sense that you should not just rely on Etsy. Now, here is where the real knowledge comes in. She has solely relied on Etsy big time. She had a 6-figure business. I've helped her go to multiple 6 figures. Hooray, right? She's doing great. However, when times will go up and down, she gets really worried. What happened in between this time, guys, and this is happening to you, you're solely relying on Etsy. That's why I never hear people complain, oh, my .com is slow, oh, my Amazon is slow. I mean, you will see it once in a while, but you'll see mostly Etsy. Why? Because we all heavily rely on Etsy. A majority of our income may come from Etsy. So, of course, we're going to say, you might be like, Dahlia, of course I'm going to say I'm sad when Etsy is slow. But what has happened is Etsy, okay, I love Etsy with all my heart, but it has trained us, to rely on them. And that is horrible. Horrible. Blessing in disguise that it's slow, because I, your coach, am helping you, not gear toward away it, but helping you implement other strategies. That's why I come out with email lists. That's why I'm coming out soon with the Pinterest strategy for all of you. And also Google SEO. That's why I'm coming out with these. That's why I'm pressuring you to do your own .com. Pressuring you to get on Amazon. That's why I have an Amazon webinar. What am I doing all this for? I'm doing it for you because you will find that, I'm not saying you shouldn't rely on Etsy at all. What I'm saying is that wouldn't it be a good feeling, think of it like this, that you are making enough money that if Etsy were to go away, and I don't mean shut you down, possibly, but go lower in sales, that you wouldn't be so worried. Everything that you guys just wrote down, which was how you felt when Etsy sales are slow. Wouldn't it be great to not to have that feeling because you have other platforms or other, whatever you want to call it, backups or whatever, that is doing really great? The point is, the fact that Etsy became slow, hopefully that will put some fire up your butt and tells you, hey, don't rely on it. It is great. Keep working on it. Keep working on SEO, photos. Do some great things with it, but don't rely only on that. You know, for my friend, I said to her, you know, thank God Etsy is slow, because once a while it became slow, she got a chance to work on her Amazon, which I pushed her to, work on her .com, which she thought she would never get sales on, okay, etc. and so forth. Yeah, she's had it. And she had sales, and she was so excited. I'm like, you know what? It's a blessing in disguise. I said, you would have never had those sales on those platforms. And yes, it is not maybe as much as Etsy. She's had a little bit more than a handful or so of sales here and there. So still, it's pretty good, not bad. But she would never have had those sales. And she'd never have had time to work on them if Etsy wasn't slow. Does she have miles and miles of work still to complete on her Amazon and .com? Yeah, she still has to add some listings, optimize them, you name it, right? She still has to do those things because, again, she's lacking some time in between, you know, the days. But the blessing in disguise, guys, is that it will make you not rely on Etsy. It will force you, now listen up, if you don't listen to this advice, again, I told you, you will find yourself in a few years or so really screwed. I'm telling you, really screwed. Because imagine a few years from now, if you don't listen to this advice, you won't open another Amazon shop, you won't open a .com, or you won't really put your heart and soul into it because you're relying on Etsy. You will find yourself still relying on Etsy, and then the ups and downs will come. They will eventually come. Okay, they will come. And you're going to look to me trying to be reactive instead of proactive. I talked about that a long time ago, right? In a Facebook Live, I talked about proactive versus reactive. If you are in a reactive type of individual, it's a really bad life to live. You have to be proactive in your business. You have to push yourself. Hold on, my laptop is falling. Okay. Push yourself to do things to take care of these slow times. Do things such as working on your .com, working on your Amazon. And I don't mean just working, I mean really implementing some things to get it really going. Does that mean if you've bought my webinars, great. What's the plan to get started on it? Somebody told me that they're too busy to work on it. I get it, right? But what's the plan to work on it? Can you work on the last hour of your workday? Can you work on 10 listings at a time? Or let's say 10 listings, 5 listings. Can you work on XYZ? Like, the reason why I goal plan is because I have these major goals, right? And if I don't goal plan, I'll be stuck on just doing one thing for the rest of the year. And that's what you guys are doing, just relying on Etsy for the whole year. However, if you goal plan correctly, I involve some of my tasks from my big goals and put it into each day. So I'm always slowly eating away at these goals. So when you look at me, I have a couple Etsy shops. I have Amazon, I have .com, okay? And I might do some in-person shows, whatever. But the point is, I have grown it this wide because I don't want to rely on one platform. It doesn't mean if it's Etsy. It doesn't matter where it is. It means I'm not relying on one sole income. But more importantly, even if you're here and you're like, I don't even have an Etsy, I only have a .com. Is that fine? Let me explain something to you. Your .com can't shut you down, right? So you don't have to worry about Etsy shutting you down. It's your .com. It doesn't shut you down. But sometimes there will be ebbs and flows of your .com. For me, I consistently make a certain amount each month. So I'm probably going to hit my goal this year for my .com, which is very exciting. It's a low goal. It's not too high like my other stuff, but it's definitely a good, decent goal. But I use my email list to do it. I have Google SEO in place. I still have to work on it and finish it up, but you know, I'm just telling you, I still have it in place. Point is, I'm working hard on these other things because I don't want to rely on one sole income provider. Okay? Even if you have many things going on, are they all equally doing as well? Not equally, but have you put your heart and soul into all of them? By far, and this has just happened yesterday, the pre-sale, by far, pre-sale for Etsy shops are really, really popular. Yes, I just started offering the Amazon one so that I can't judge that one just yet. But a lot of people put a lot of energy into Etsy. And that is the reason why it is a bad idea to kick and scream and whatever when your Etsy shop is slow. Use this as a blessing in disguise. It is forcing you to figure out other avenues. Why? Here's the second part of the knowledge. Because in 3 years from now, 2 years from now, even a year from now, like my friend who started making sales off her .com and Amazon, you're going to be like, wow, imagine I never had that slow time. Imagine I never did, whatever. I would never have had these platforms grow the way they should be growing. Let me read some comments here. Remember when Dahlia talked about an accountability partner? The slow times is perfect to have that partner to push you through the rough and slow times. Yes, I have one for myself. I have an accountability partner, and that's what we do. We push each other. In fact, the one I was just talking about, the story about her, that was my accountability partner. And we're not expected to push each other during the time we want to take a half day off. I might question it to her. I might say, hey, you've been taking off a little bit here and there. Oops, my laptop is falling. So I may, just, challenge her, but of course she could do whatever she wants. I just may bring it to her attention. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, so I would like to find an accountability partner. I could see how helpful that would be. Yes, Eva, I posted this before in a Facebook Live, and I said, hey, if you want an accountability partner, simple. Post in the group, right? After this call, just post, I want an accountability partner. This is my market that I sell in. You could have the same market. You don't have to. If you feel like you might benefit for somebody that sells similar things as you, that's fine, but you don't have to. You could say what your criteria is. Like, I want somebody to check in with me daily, and I'll check with them in daily, etc., etc. And if you're interested, please PM me or comment below. You guys can comment below because other people may end up, hooking up. You know what I meant. Getting together as being accountability partners, and boom, it's that simple. You don't have to do it in my group. You can do it in other groups if you want. It doesn't matter. Find one. It's so super simple. I use WhatsApp to continue to talk to my accountability partner. You could absolutely use Facebook. It just became easier for me and her. I definitely learned to take these slow times to work on other stuff. I finally have my new blog post, my blue blog launching next week, and I've been creating new product lines, etc. I'm thankful. Awesome. I can't decide where open my .com, Shopify, Wix, GoDaddy, etc. I think by popular choice, people will say Shopify. I think if you're not ready for the fees of Shopify, I think Squarespace is a really good place to start. It's easier, and fees really user-friendly, really attractive. Okay? Whew, hold on, I need to drink my drink. Dahlia's dating site. Hilarious. Looks like a lot of people need an accountability partner. Again, after this, just post. One person post, and a whole bunch of people go at it in the comments. Okay? And be adults, guys. If you feel like the accountability partner is not working, first of all, hold them accountable. Say, hey, you haven't been holding me accountable for the last few days, And of course, be understanding. Sometimes people come up with emergencies, etc. But I would suggest that if you need to let go of your accountability partner and partner with somebody else, just say it. Just say, hey, I feel like we're not really meshing really well. I think we're not really, into it. Is it okay if I find another accountability partner? Meaning, I don't want you to feel like you've been stuck to this partner that you're not really getting along with, or, sometimes people just like connect. If you don't, that's okay. Just say it. I said, I think this is this and that, Or you should probably push harder to give it a really good chance. Okay? So Amazon helped me to know I had a bigger audience. With just Etsy, it's easy to doubt. Now I want my .com shoppable. It'll get there, Trina. I will tell you that. This is about .com, what you said, but in general, I just had the pre-sale yesterday for shop critiques on Etsy, Amazon, one-on-one coaching. Those type of packages will help you get things more shoppable, will help you get the biggest bang for your buck on those platforms, will help you get your platform so optimized and your shop so optimized that you'll be just killing it in a good way, And again, I just mentioned that, so let me follow up with that, another thing. If you missed yesterday's pre-sale, no worries. The actual sale, not sale like it's a percentage off, but the actual launch is next week, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And that is it. I will be closing up after that for shop critiques until toward the end of the year. Not toward the end, like August, September. So if you want in, it's time to get in. Okay? So, haha, my clients are my accountability partners. Doesn't matter what the shipping time is. Every day, where's my product? I know, right? So again, if you just joined this later, I recommend you watch this from the beginning. I talked about why it's freaking awesome that Etsy is slow. And it's because it forces you to do things that will grow your other businesses. Hopefully you have other plans. And on top of that, you will see a year from now, 2 years from now, with the other things that you've worked on because your Etsy shop was slow, how awesome it's doing. And because of that, you say, wow, blessing in disguise. I was able to get my Amazon started, just like my friend. She was able to get her Amazon started. She still has some more work to do, but her .com as well. And if she didn't have that, then she would not, well, simple, she would not have those sales. She would not have this thing going. And she has so much more to accomplish. She's got her email list going, doing pretty well. She just started not too long ago, several months ago. She's hanging tight for a couple of my other trainings, like Pinterest, Google SEO, to get some other things going. But to wrap this up, to bring up my webinars, and I will bring it up because it's really, really important. If you're out there saying, yes, Dahlia, I get it, you're 100% right. I will still maybe sulk if sometimes my Etsy shop is slow, but it will help me. I have to get out of my funk. The accountability part will help me get out of my funk. And I will then work on the other things you told me to, because I know a year from now, and you guys have to know this, a year from now, you will look back and say, wow, I could have not been here. And I know you guys will think this because if you saw a post a couple days ago, I posted it on Sunday, I believe. I asked you, what are you doing now that you would have never dreamed of a couple years ago? Those responses are proof that a year from now, you'll be doing different things. Better things, right? More growth related things. And if you don't start with those things now, right? Like Nicola, if she doesn't figure out a way to start with the email listing now, a year from now, she might regret it, because if she has started it, a year from now, she's going to look at her email list and say, well, I'll just throw out a number. Let's say she has 400 people. She would never had those 400 people. And she would never had the opportunity. Sorry, my laptop keeps falling. I need a new stand. She would have never had those 400 people and never been able to email them and actually make sales from it. If I had never started my email list, even though when I first started it, I was really skeptical. I started it probably like over 3 years ago or something. It was slow growth in the beginning. Obviously, I didn't know what I was doing, etc. But I learned a lot, and that's why I'm teaching you guys it, because I've been very successful with my email list. But the point is, imagine I never started. Guys, if I never started, I do get some sales from Google SEO traffic from my .com. I do. But at the snap of my fingers, and this snap represents an email that I send out, the snap of my fingers, I could get money to my .com. Okay? That means the second I send out an email, I will get money, because my laptop keeps falling. Hold on. I'm trying to adjust it. Okay. Because I have quite a bit of people on my email list, and I usually convert at a certain percentage of people. So the more you have on your email list, the more higher chances you'll get more money, because it's all about conversion rates. Okay? Anyway, take a little sip of my drink. Okie dokie. So, Nicola says, do sales on your .com help your Google ranking? Well, I will tell you based on what I know, because I don't know everything. Based on what I know, I don't think I've seen, I don't know what the word to use, but a study that indicates that there is some relation, but there's some exact, direct correlation. I will say that reviews may matter. I will say potentially the amount of people that end up on your cart page potentially matter, which to Google, like the checkout area, like the complete checkout area, like that page when you're completely checked out. Google may track that. I don't have proof that it does. So I'm gonna first answer that question by saying no, not directly. Not directly. There's quite a bit of other things that help your Google ranking. And that, I believe, is not a huge major factor, if it is a factor. At least I have not found any evidence to that. You love the cup? What do I got here? Superhero cup. I have quite a few of these. I have no idea why. I think we got them as party gifts. But they're just big enough and they're simple enough to clean. There's no like ins and outs, but they're just big enough to hold my smoothie in the morning. So anyway, I was making a point and then I went to other points. You could tell ADHD at my finest. I was talking about the webinars, but if you don't have the tools or the know-how, okay, and you know a webinar is going to help you in 3 to 5, 6 months from now, you know it's going to help you, then why not do it? And you know what? Forget webinars. That also includes shop critiques. So, right now I'm talking about shop critiques. We have the pre-sale from yesterday. Next week we have the regular launch for shop critiques. If you know it's going to help you, what are people waiting for? I don't want to hear, and here's the thing. I know I'm not being insensitive to people's budgets, but I don't want to hear it's about the pricing or whatever. I think most of you that have had my shop critiques would agree that it's worth the price. More importantly, people that have not had it know it's probably worth the price, but they can't seem to shell out the money. I will tell you that people leave the shop critique, meaning you will have that video and those extra resources, completely understanding where you have to head with your business and where you have to focus your energy on. That's the biggest deal as well, by the way, guys. What do you guys do each and every day when you're not filling orders? Tell me right now, the 60 people on this call, when you're not filling orders, where is your energy focused on? Where is it focused on? Well, I'll tell you, for me, most of my energy is focused on you guys. Be honest, I'm pretty much full-time for you guys. And it's difficult because I have to also run the other business. But where's your energy focused on? And your answer will reveal a lot to me. Like literally, what's on your to-do list today? If you are fully filling orders, if you weren't filling orders, what would be on your to-do list today? And I will give you a hint. And be honest with yourself. Just write down below. I'm not going to judge you. I might help you, but I'm not going to judge you. You have to understand that if on your to-do list, there are not things that help you get toward your major goals. And your major goals, by the way, if you have no idea what your major goals are, check my other Facebook Live. I have many Facebook Lives about goal planning. Your major goals should directly help your shop make money. Okay? It shouldn't be something like, give me a silly major goal. I can't think of one, but your goals, sometimes we have so many goals. Sometimes I tell people to narrow down your goals because you can't have 1 million in a year that you could complete. Those should directly help you make money, okay? And because of that, you should be breaking those goals down to tasks and applying it to each and every day that you're working so you can get toward that goal. If you are here and you have a to-do list that does not have anything to do with your goal, then you're working on crappy things. You're working on frivolous things. You're working on things that don't matter. And that's what the shop critique does. It helps you work on things that matter, that help you get money, okay? And that's not always about money, but when running a business, it's about money, okay? So let's see what people's on people's to-do list. Okay, where do we find your webinar info? Hold on, okay, new product. Karen, yes, if you're new around here and you're like, yes, I'm interested in your webinars or I'm interested in reading about them, etc. If you go to thehandmademastermind.com, and that's thehandmademastermind.com. Click on courses and you will see what I have to offer. They are rockstar courses, okay? This payment plan is available, but it has helped hundreds, if not thousands at this point, of people with their Etsy shops, okay? Good morning, Gabby. Would it be all right to start to collect emails now but not actually begin to send emails for a couple months? Gabby has a fantastic question. If you have my email list webinar, and even if you don't and you want to start collecting emails and whatever, yes, it is absolutely okay. And here's why, based on experience. There was a time I told you I was gathering emails way back in the day. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I sent out an email or two in the year, and that was it. So they didn't hear from me most of the time. I would say that you might say, well, Doc, they don't hear from me. They might wonder where this came from, And that may be true. That may be very, very true. However, I successfully have been last year's growth compared to the year before has more than doubled for me in revenue. So you can imagine I was very busy and I was not able to hold on to some of my goals, which is email lists, etc. This year I have a better plan, etc. So I will tell you that some of my customers did not hear from me for a while, but I got back up on it. Now I'm consistent. At least once a month they hear from me and I'm doing just fine. Point is, based on experience, I think it'll actually be fine. Okay? That's why I said to you, if you have my email list webinar, guys, some really great info in there. But at least, I know you're busy. We're all busy. At least, listen to the first part. Even when you're doing the dishes, even when you're cleaning, even if you're driving your kids to school, listen to the first part, the first section, which is building your email list, getting those subscribers. Listen to it, at least. So then you could at least start that process. It doesn't take you long to start that process, even if you half-ass it, right? Because I want you to start building that list. So when you're ready, maybe in hopefully a few months, say, okay, let me send out my first email. I don't have that many subscribers, but I'll send out my first email to get a groove going. Your other subscribers don't know how many people are on your list, okay? They don't know. They don't know you have only 3 people on your list. Okay, so it doesn't matter when you decide to send it out, but just know that building the list is the first part. You know, if you only maintain 10 people on your list for the rest of your life, you're pretty much going to be screwed. It's all about building the list with quality people and then, of course, marketing to them. So Dara says she's working on social media, creating and listing new items, promoting and getting ahead, ordering materials. Now, I'm about to read some other comments about what people are working on, which is fantastic. And I bet you, more often than not, they're going to be working on major things. However, is that what's really happening after we close on this Facebook Live? After I say bye, guys, is that what's really happening? When you look at your to-do list, or if you were to record yourself doing things throughout the day, do you find that other things sneak in to take away your time? I sound like a commercial. Do you find that, but seriously, do you find that you were working on things that mean nothing, that don't directly relate to sales, or find that when it should take you around 20 minutes to create, you know, design, blah, blah, a social media post, you find that it's taken you well over 45 minutes? Is it because you're working on other things in between, you're multitasking, which is not necessarily a good thing? I urge you that if you're writing right now your to-do list that will prove to me that you work toward your goal, I urge you that sometimes when we work on it, we're not as efficient as we can be. I'm not saying you have to be efficient 100% of the time, okay? Sometimes I'm not, but I'm really, really, really good at being efficient in general, okay? Sometimes I still have my moments, okay? So just realize as I'm reading these things, this is really great, but you have to make sure that by doing these things, you're not wasting valuable time in between. You know, somebody's saying, okay, for example, let me really give it to you and give you an example. She wrote, creating and listing new items. What is her process, Dara, in general? And I'm sure people create and list new products all the time. What is your process? Have you broken it down to tasks, Dara, about if your goal is to create and list your new product line, let's say your Mother's Day new product line, right? What does Dara have to do from start to finish to get it completed, right? And that's why I want you guys to goal plan, because you'll know exactly the task to complete. Why? So when Dara is ready to start creating and listing her new items, she has this task list of the process of creating items and a task list of listing new items. She follows this list, okay? Follows it, so then she doesn't waste time and wonder what's next and, oh, I missed something, I have to go back. It's such a time waster if you don't plan it out, okay? And that applies to anything. If you have something on your to-do list that you're sharing me with right now, then understand that if you're not breaking it down to tasks and you don't know what these tasks are to accomplish it, you are being inefficient and not as productive as you can be. Again, you don't have to always be like a robot, but just know that there's pockets of opportunity. And those same people will complain to me, I don't have time. I don't have time to get my email list together. I don't have time, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear it, because I'm right now I'm dropping that knowledge on you and telling you that you have to make sure you do goal planning. I don't know how this Facebook Live turned from one topic to another. It's just how we roll, guys, because I feel the energy of the crowd and what people want to talk about, I guess. Okay, Bryce says, trying to hook up with wedding event planners to partner with. Any on this call? I don't think there's event planners in this, what do you call this, group. And if they are, they shouldn't be here. Work on new products, marketing online. I'm still tidying up all of my mistakes I made before you. Yeah, some people are really doing some smaller things. Well, not small in their eyes, but they're working on, like, for example, Nicole's like, I'm working on tidying up all the mistakes I've made after I listened to your shop critique. So the shop critique not only points out mistakes, guys, it sounds negative, but really helps you, I point out things that you have to accomplish that really get your shop really in order. and maxing out to its fullest potential. Some people are still working on that, and that's okay. Everybody's different. Even though Nicola may be making a really good, decent amount of money, she might be still working on things that seem not amateur, but seem like not as advanced, and that's okay. Sometimes we are at different places in our business, and that's absolutely okay. I'm working on things, guys, that will blow your mind. Okay? I mean, not everybody, but I'm working on completely different things than maybe some of you guys are, and that's okay. Inventory listings and SEO training. Today, orders, sow stock for big show on August 3rd. De-stash, some supplies I'm not going to use. Okay. Sometimes, and I'll be honest with you guys, I usually work 8 to 5, 8 to 4. And there's once in a while I sneak upstairs and I do some things, like clean my desk, and some other things. Here's why I don't do that during work hours, unless I really, really need to badly. I don't do it during work hours because it's a time waster. I don't mind jumping up during a Saturday, which I do on Saturdays. I clean my house on Saturdays, and cleaning off my desk, cleaning up upstairs, whatever. Because I feel like I'm still with my family. My kids are running around. It feels still okay to be in my office then, or just checking on supplies. It doesn't take me that long, because I'm moving around, And so what I'm trying to say is that if you still find you have to still do some things, like de-stash some supplies, I don't know what the process is for that or how long, etc. You may find that don't do it during a work day unless, I don't know what your personal after work life looks like. You may have absolutely no time, and that's fine. I'm just giving you an idea that if you did, you could sneak up upstairs. If you find yourself watching TV a lot and, like I do, then maybe you could sneak up upstairs and say, okay, let me move and de-stash some supplies then. And maybe your kids could help you if you have kids or, whatever. So what I'm trying to say is sometimes those to-do lists that you do during the workday are really, really important. And the ones that are not could be done other times, I'm doing orders all day and answering messages. I never get to the other stuff. Ah, interesting. So yeah, some people do have issues with getting things done. And if you are truly, truly maximizing your time and you can't find other things to get done that will help you grow your business, you may need to start hiring somebody. Okay? So Pammy, I make it a point to work on my Amazon every day. A trick I do is take my worst ranking listing and update something about it, think of new keywords, etc. Sure enough, within 24 hours, where is it? It sells and the ranking gets boosted. I slacked for a while, but it's been at it again, and yep, boom. Great way to look at it. And there's many things you could do with your slow time, or time in between. You could dedicate 2 hours a week to looking at listings that are slow, regardless of what platform it is, to dedicate to fixing it. That's a great idea. My kids, my son is home all day. He's 3, but he does mean something. Oh, okay. I'm really behind on comments. I have started doing top 5 projects for the week that I work daily on. I only shoot for 3 major things daily. That's what I do. First is always fulfilling orders. If I finish my top 3, then I pick from the weekly 5, which we're taking from my year goal sheet. Michelle, you are my soul sister. Now, not everybody has to follow my goal planning methods. I found it to really work for me and others. However, if you want to take my goal planning methods and slightly change them, then do it. At least try and start with what I teach you in goal planning and move toward that direction. If you're wondering what goal planning methods, go to my .com, thehandmademastermind.com, click blog, and you'll see it. You'll see my goal planning. I have a few goal planning, let me use my words, blog posts. And if you check the Facebook Lives in this group, okay, if you go to the search bar, I think it's here, or I think it moved over here now, just type in FB Live and write goal planning. And you will see all my goal planning Facebook Lives, okay? All right, I am too late. And this, by the way, goal planning is one of those things that I know some people do it now. I know some people do it. It's one of those things that I feel that when people do it, after a year, 6 months, 8 months, they're going to start thanking me. They're going to go like, wow, I really trusted you, Dahlia. I did it. And now I'm seeing why goal planning is freaking awesome. But it's hard to see why it's awesome when you're not really doing it and when you're not in a groove of doing it for a while. I'll be honest, it's really, really hard to see. I did it out of the need to survive. Because I have ADHD and I'm all over the place, I needed to start doing that. Otherwise, I felt at the end of the day, I felt like I accomplished nothing. I felt unmotivated. I felt unproductive. But having this goal planning situation I'm doing really helped with those feelings, and I hated those feelings, okay? You are too late, Lily. Welcome. But definitely watch this, because some really great knowledge in this Facebook Live. De-stash takes a long time for me. Measuring fabrics. Okay. I didn't know the process, obviously. We are busy every evening of the week with kids' activities, including, yep. And similar, and I get that. So sometimes you never know what people are going through and what they're doing. For me, while after work, a few times of the week, we have soccer practice, we have violin practice, and we have swimming class. There are sometimes, like during the weekend, I might, and sometimes you may not. And for her, she may not have the time, and that's okay. But if you do, sometimes move those, regular boring tasks to like the weekend or something. Even if you know it's going to take you 30 minutes, it's not long in perspective, but it's a huge chunk of time when you're trying to work on things during the work time. You ask what our time wasters are, or things that interrupt us from work. My 3-year-olds. It's funny. I'm going to say this, because I have not mentioned it yet. My daughter, my little one, she was born late in the year. When I say late in the year, I mean she's born in December. So for school, she has to wait an extra year before she joins school. However, we're probably going to get her into pre-K this year. Anyway, so I'm going to get into pre-K this year. And she's still going to be a year older than the kids there. Almost a year older, because she was born in December. Anyway, I said, no, she'll do great. But they only do pre-K half day here. So that's the catch. She could come in early. Well, fine, we'll take her. Even though she can't start regular kindergarten, they'll take her in pre-K, but they have to do half day. So I'll be taking her back home at 11:40. So around 12, she'll come home when we're having our lunch. We always have our lunch around 12. And so that means she'll be with us for the rest of the day. Now she's growing, so she's not that hard to deal with, or she'll be at that time, hold on a second. How old is she now? She's 4. So she's going to be almost 5. Okay, she's going to be almost 5. So I will say that it is probably not that bad to have her at home, but we're certainly not used to having her for several hours during our work day. So I know what you're going to go. I know what you're going through, because I'm probably going to go through it very soon. Maybe not as much as you, because yours is a 3-year-old. Okay, Michelle, Dal, you've helped me so much with goal planning. I'm so excited, Michelle. I wish other people would really give it a really good chance, because I will tell you there's a few things that and I probably should do a Facebook Live about this, and actually I will, maybe tomorrow. There's a few things that I dedicate my success to, and there's quite a few things. In fact, I will do a Facebook Live on it, like tools and knowledge and certain, like different things that help me get to where I am. Maybe I'll call it the 21 things that contributed to my success. I don't know. We'll see. One of them is goal planning. Okay? Absolutely. My son starts VPK this year. I don't know what that means. I'm thrilled. It is half day. My daughter attends half day now. Oh, but it cuts it into a lot of my day. I see. Okay. So guys, let me wrap up this call. I know we extended it really long, but I hope you really like this Facebook Live. It started out by us talking about why having a slow Etsy shop is really freaking awesome. And I hope you guys take that to heart, and understanding that, okay, let me get out of my funk. Let me start working on plans that don't let me rely on Etsy. Don't let Etsy control your feelings. Don't let any platform control your feelings. Any platform, okay? Oh, okay, voluntary, yeah. Don't let any platform control your feelings, because it is a horrible feeling to do that. And it is even better to have multiple income streams. So even if you never have experienced a slow Etsy time, okay, you'll never have those feelings. Yes, but you want to have multiple income streams. It's a really good thing to have. Okay. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed today's Facebook Live. If you're interested in reading more blog posts about some of these things I've talked about, go to thehandmademastermind.com, click on blog. If you're interested in any of the courses I'm talking about, click on courses. If you're interested in a shop critique, pre-sale was yesterday, now it's over, so don't worry. Monday, next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, okay, is the launch, the regular launch for the shop critiques. Again, it's limited seating, so I can't guarantee by the 3rd day I have any seats left. So if you're interested in it, Monday morning, make sure that you get in and purchase the packages right for you. There's multiple packages, and different price points, so you can pick one that's right for you. Okay, guys? I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.